Hello y'all on YouTube, this is Rob with Rob's Nerdy Knives. We're going to do a quick skiff washing, golly, skiff washers or cage bearings or cage ceramic ball bearings swap out. Alright, and I call them washers. I know some of you guys are like, that's cage bearings. Well, if you know Skiff, they're actually phosphor bronze washers that are milled out with a circle in the middle, and they're solid. They're not crimped over, so they're truly washers that cage the bearings. So they truly are cage ceramic ball bearing phosphor bronze washers. So there you go. Anyways, we're going to go ahead and do that, and I'll probably skip through, not skip, but we'll speed through some of the stuff while I'm doing it. But you know the usual, we're going to take the knife apart. I believe they're all T8s. We're going to probably tune the detent just a little bit because it is just a little bit stiff. And I'm going to put in some Skiff washers. Not that it needs it because the action is beautiful, but I think it could be even more beautiful and more enjoyable. So let's go ahead and begin. So let's take it apart. Just to confirm, I believe we are looking at T8s, and I'm just going to double check that. If I can, oh, no wonder. Come on, there we go, T8s. All right, so there we go. So let's go ahead and begin. Oh, I thought I had my other wrench here, but I guess not. Okay. I have another one that I use sometimes, but makes it a little easy once they're loose. Normally I have my cheat sheet, but I'm pretty sure I know what these guys are. I think they are the 5mm, but let's just double check. It could be the 3/16. Yep, these are the right ones. Okay. These are not bad. Actually, they got some pretty good movement on them. Sometimes they get locked up pretty bad, and you can tell. I mean, there's no doubt, right? Let's see, is there a little steel washer here in? Yeah, there sure is. So you see a little dirt in there. We'll clean that out. Nicely milled, really nicely milled. And this is a captive pivot. You'll notice that right there. It's a little cutout right there, which is really nice. I always appreciate a captive pivot. You can tell them something and they always pay attention, right? Bad dad joke. Ignore it. Skip ahead. Don't listen. Don't unlike me because of that bad dad joke. There's a lot more coming anyway, so if that one bothers you, I have plenty more to bother you. So sometimes, just to get a nice action, I will polish a little bit of the washer too. Usually do a circle 8. That's just in case there's some, I don't know, little debris or something on there. It's usually where the track of the phosphor cage bearings will go over, right? It's not a big deal, just a very slight, quick brush. Sometimes you never know, there could be something in there. If I put it on the strop, I always like to clean out the inside of each washer. Don't put the cage bearings on there. You don't want that stuff to get in all over the balls. Alright, so I'm going to tune this just a slight bit, doesn't need much, and that's going to be carefully done because this is actually a liner lock, and oh, it takes a T8 also, very nice. Everything's a T8. Now I keep these screws separate because I want to make sure I don't mix those up. All right, so let me get my pry tool. I'll be right back. This is what I was talking about earlier that I would use on the pivot. So tell me that it's 5. See, it's not a 3/16, it's definitely a 5 millimeter. And this is the other screwdriver I was talking about. I think I just ran over a box here. So that's why I don't want to bend it up necessarily. So what we're going to try to do is we're going to... So in this case, I want to see how far up we are. Need something to measure this with. Yeah, I think we did some. So let's put this back in and seat it in. Alright. I don't know if I did anything at all, but we're going to leave it at that. It might have been a little bit, it might have been nothing. Just because I don't want to ever do too much. It's better to do it a few times, get it just right. Okay, there we go. Got our pin still in there, nice. Make sure I clean that out over here. So it may not make a bit of difference, but I sometimes like to polish here in case there's some little something sticking out for whatever reason. And I do it just right here in the corner, okay? Just enough to where the washers are going to go over. Just in case there's a little burr or something sticking up from the milling, maybe something got stuck in there. And sometimes I'll just polish that up nicely. I'll do both sides. Just that little area where the pivot is, right around it, where the bearings will run over. This will probably, if there's nothing to clean up, it won't make a bit of difference. The only time it makes a difference is sometimes if you have a little burr that could be there. And that does happen occasionally. Even with the best, absolute wonderful manufacturing, that still does happen. Alright, so let's put a little oil. Now that these are completely sealed and they're phosphor bronze washers, you can see they're solid all the way through and the balls sit inside them. I don't have to worry about which way they face. Whereas like the OEM ones, I always try to face them in if there's any cutout. Like here, there's on the titanium frames. So these guys, they're crimped over the balls, and so there's an exposed area inside. So I would face that toward this little beveled area. I don't have to worry about this with these guys. And their tolerances are ridiculous, so even better. I'm just going to put a little bit of drop here. Some people put a whole lot less oil. Some people put a whole lot more oil. It really is up to you. It's your knife. You make the call, okay? So I'm going to put a little oil over here. So now one thing I will do is the detent hole and the detent ball. I will put a little bit of oil on that. So let's get that. This is the detent track. You can see where the ball rolls on the blade. They'll create a track. They call it a detent track. You'll see there's a little ceramic ball that was impressed into the steel liner lock here, or lock bar. If everything's nice and lined up, we should go in pretty smoothly. Oops, I did knock that off. So the first thing I'll do is I'll probably do the pivot. That'll keep everything locked in place. I'm not putting a Loctite on there just yet. Notice I backwards thread, that's so I don't strip the screws. Do that, because if you do have enough of these, after a while you'll want to make sure you do that. Alright, so let's see real quick. Alright, that feels good. Feels really smooth initially. It seems like right away. Alright, so our longer screws, and this is where if you have longer screws you want to pay attention to which has the longer screws. I can't put this screw in here because it won't even fit through, and this screw is obviously made just for that one right there. Now typically I don't lock these guys up unless they do travel. It's more the, sorry, listening for the click. It's more for the, sometimes the deep pocket carry clip is one that's of concern, and the pivot screw. Those are the ones that usually travel. And what I mean by travel is they loosen up. So it actually travels up the thread of the screw. So let me show you what I was talking about before. This is nice, but I don't get as much leverage, especially when I need leverage and I don't want to strip those screws out. I always use stubby ones. But what's nice about this is I can turn that and keep the pressure nice and even. Nice and centered. And I'll pivot play. Alright, so what I'm going to now do is I'm going to put a little Loctite 242. So it feels like I might have tuned it a little bit. I couldn't tell. I like to be able to have the flipper be really nice. So when the flipper is really tight, you know, that gets uncomfortable, right? And flipper should be comfortable, especially one of these hidden flippers. These you don't want them as strong as a regular flipper because you don't have as much leverage. It's more about the angle and the pressure. It works really well, but after a while, your finger, unless you got a lot of calluses, it's gonna get a little tender. So, you know, it's up to you. If you already have big calluses on your finger and you're fine about it, you know, leave your detent. Enjoy it. Like me, I like a certain amount of detent. I also like it to have a certain amount of drop, and I enjoy that. Now just a little bit. Okay. Notice it's just on the threads. I did tighten that up a little bit. Make sure we're centered. All the way play. Feel like it's still a little tight. I mean, I have to give a good shake to get it going. Still dead center. No blade play. There we go. Now, one thing I will eventually do is I'll make the sharpening choil a little bit bigger. I wish Casey had made that just a little bit bigger for the finger to catch. It's just not big enough. And I know some people want the full maximum usage of the blade. I get that, but man, there's a benefit to having a sharpening choil there, and for your finger. It's just two benefits, you know, so it doesn't drop on your finger. This is just one of these very fidgety knives. It's a lot of fun to handle, but you got to be careful you don't drop that on your nail to cut it, especially if you're a righty and you drop it like that. I don't want it to cut into my hand, so I can sort of catch it here, and what I did is that very super sharp corner right there, I filed that down just a hair. So what I did is, and I hate doing that, but it'll come back once I sharpen this blade again if I reprofile the edge. Just a little bit on that corner, because I don't typically cut back there anyways, but I would rather have that. I would rather have that than have it cut into my finger. So now when it drops, that edge is not super sharp right there like it could be. It's still sharp here like crazy, but at least that's not going to cut through the nail eventually. So now the action is really nice. I'm going to let this dry overnight because pivots, you want to make sure that Loctite dries. And it does take 24 hours to cure. But that is it. That's all there's to it. It's pretty simple. That was a pretty quick tune. Pretty successful tune if you ask me. I mean, I really like the action after I did that. It seems to be pretty smooth. The drop was fantastic. Washers was an easy, quick swap here, as you can see. In case you're curious, they are the 5mm 1/16 11 ball count, 0.2 inches, 0.37 for inner diameter. Inner diameter is 0.2, outer diameter is 0.37 inches. Thickness of those ball bearings is 0.05 inches. So those are the washers that you would want to get for those. And I'll try to remember to put the link down there. But no, he has a little list that Steve Skiff has, and I get to contribute to it whenever I get a new knife. I'll let him know what knives, what washers they take, because I typically have a whole set of washers, and I'm the first to go ahead and give it a try because I like to put Skiff washers in. Do you need to? No. Is it required? No. Do I think it's really nice? Yeah, I actually do. I think it's really, it makes the knife's action, I think, just a little bit better, in my humble opinion. So for me, it's worth it. And I do it. But you do not have to do it, okay? It is absolutely your call to do as you would like. And I'm going to save those over there so I don't mix them in here. These, I usually put that in the box with the knife in case I ever sell or trade the knife. Then I can have the original washers there in case some people want the OEM washers. Sometimes they do. For whatever reason, some people don't like the actual Skiff washers and they want to go back to the OEM. And that is absolutely their call if they buy the knife. And I sell the knife and it's now their knife. They can do with it what they would like. It is absolutely your call, right? So I enjoy doing this, and to me this is a lot of fun. And the action's already, to me, is already smoother. You can see that, and it's very buttery, very controlled. It's still got some nice crisp detent. I think I don't feel like I lost anything there, but I can feel that I have. It's not as hard on my finger, which is going to be for long-term fidgety goodness. It's going to be nice, and then I can still keep polishing that. Oops, I usually use the white side, which gets to be a dark color after you have a lot of steel on there. I know some of you guys like to use the liquid stuff, and that's cool too. I haven't gotten there yet. I did ask for Christmas from my wife if I could get a nice strop, one that's made out of horse's butt or kangaroo or buffalo. It tends to be a denser grain, denser grain of leather, so it works a little better with this kind of sharpening polish here. This is probably cowhide. You can see little wrinkles and stuff like that, and that's just after years and years of use. But those other leathers are going to be a little bit better for my stropping, and I do like to strop. If I'm on a call, I will strop my knife just as I'm waiting. Now the only problem with 154 cm, it strops up so nicely, and I bet my edge is going to be coming right back there. So the little, yeah, look at that. That edge is just crazy sharp. I love that. Anyways, 154 cm just strops so nicely, and I really do enjoy that. You can maintain an edge, I feel like, almost indefinitely with 154 cm. And what I'm talking about is, let's see if I have a little piece of paper we can try this on. Just to show you. I've already used this knife a little bit, but just look at that. That's just ridiculous. Just a slicer. So you can see all that nice little fine edges. That's always fun. It's always fun when you got a nice steel that sharpens up really well. I can go from sharp to razor sharp, and then I can go to crazy sharp. I like crazy sharp. I don't know about you guys. Let me know what you think. Do you like to crazy sharpen your knives? I do. That's why I like to use a leather strop, because I like to be able to whittle the hair, or put a hair on there and then shake it and let it fall apart. Then I know it's a nice sharp edge. I know it's okay if I can just shave the hair off like that right there, so you can get rid of it. Then it's okay. But I like it a little sharper than that. I like it when I just go up there and I just touch it and it just cuts it right off. You don't have to treat it like a razor. It just touches the hair. You got to be careful though, because you can easily cut yourself with the edge like that. But it's always there's a truism. A sharp edge is a safe edge. The most dangerous knife to have is a dull knife, and that's so true. because people do stupid things with a dull knife to make it cut. If you don't have a knife that can truly cut like it should, people will start doing unsafe things, and that's how they get injured. That's how they cut fingers off. That's how they stab themselves. That's how they have big stitches and stuff. All right? You know, you don't want any of that. So keep your knife sharp, right? Keep your knives tuned. Make sure their pivots are nice and in place. Love polished edges. I love a sharp edge like that, and I usually use, now I wouldn't mind just a dry piece of leather so I can get that nice shine. And you can see that's a short edge on that one, but it does come to a nice thin edge, so it's pretty slicey, as you saw already. It was a beautiful slicer, so I do like that a lot. And I love the silver Jetstream. This is the colors that I wanted. So glad Casey did that. Really a fantastic knife. Casey did just such a great job on this one, man. So yeah, and if you saw my video on the knife and the unboxing, you'll notice that I dubbed my voice, because when I did it, the recording wasn't recording me. So there you go. And I just realized I don't have my microphone on because I didn't have my portable microphone because that died. So if you didn't hear me, hopefully I can turn up the volume there so you can hear it a little bit better. I apologize, but there you go. All right, so that's it. That's the tuning. Hey, if you have any questions, feel free to comment down below. Any questions for the channels, let me know. Hey, if you found this content fun, interesting, informative, or just entertaining, worthwhile, would you please consider hitting the like button down below? And if you've ever hit that like button, would you please consider hitting the subscribe button? Subscribing and liking the videos really helps out the channel. I appreciate it very much. Thank you. And yeah, you guys are awesome. If you haven't already, excuse me one second. If you haven't already, maybe consider hitting this, the notification button so you can be notified of future content. And finally, to my subscribers, I appreciate every one of you guys. Thank you, thank you, thank you. You guys really help the channel so much. I appreciate your support, your belief in the channel, and everything that we do here. So you guys are awesome. You allow me to do the things that I do, ultimately to do things for you guys. So I really appreciate that, and I want to share that with you. So thank you. If you've been on the edge and maybe just about ready thinking about maybe I'd like to be a channel member, check out the link down below. I'd love to have you. Have all sorts of tiers from low to high. We do have a once a month giveaway. Lots of little extras, early release content, different things like that. So thank you to you guys. I appreciate you. If you haven't already, maybe also check me out over on Instagram at robs_nerdy_knives. Again, that's Instagram at robs_nerdy_knives. Thanks so much for watching today. Have a great day and a great week. Bye.